Some people tap their feet, some people snap their fingers, and some people just sway back and forth. I just sort of do them all together, I guess.
And now here is Elvis Presley.
Can't lose for you, baby.
So excited, I can't wait.
I think Presley was a star.
Well, heard the news.
Oh, he's such a sexy person. He will always be the king no matter what.
Welcome to the Elvis Presley News Report channel yearly review of 2020. A year that started when COVID-19 was still a minor threat located at the other side of the world. At a time when Priscilla was over in England talking about the upcoming Elvis biopic and her view about an Elvis hologram concert.
One of the things I notice you don't do is you don't use a hologram. In this day and age, they can do these things. Is that the next stage, or what do you think?
No, it hasn't progressed really to what I feel would be him. It's very difficult to get his image. Very difficult, because the way they do holograms, it's putting bits and pieces together. But I think this is you're seeing the real deal on this screen. I don't think the hologram can really match what you're seeing. I haven't really seen it that perfected. I'm not saying it'll never be around, because it may progress on everybody, really.
Yeah.
So, but right now it's not in progress.
But there is a biopic film of his life.
Yes.
Is it in production yet?
Well, it's not a biopic of his life.
Yeah.
It's really about Colonel Parker and their relationship as of now.
Will we like the Colonel at the end of all of this, do you think? Or is...
I haven't. Baz has been over to my home. We have many discussions.
Did you like the Colonel or not? You see, because there's that big divide about the Colonel. Was he manipulative? Did he hold Elvis back? What was your view of the Colonel?
You know, I personally have had nothing but good experiences with the Colonel. I knew, listen, he was a human being. He was in fear that someone would grab Elvis and Elvis would go, to them, which is Hollywood, and that does happen. I am mixed, honestly, about how he handled Elvis. He was more of a promoter, not really a manager.
Yes,
a manager really has to do what their artists want.
Now, before we expand on the movie, first some words about a virtual Elvis, as we saw a computer-generated image of Elvis in a car commercial on the Brazilian television in 2020. The body double was that of Elvis impersonator Dean Z, but the head was created by using a computer. The two were pieced together for this video, and here are some highlights of the commercial. In the same line, a statue of Elvis was made in Germany. Not by a sculptor, but by using this photo and a 3D printing technique. Funds were raised by two female Elvis fans and the municipality of Bad Nauheim, the village where Elvis stayed while being stationed in Germany, kindly participated. They were the ones that restored the bridge where Elvis stood when his photo was taken with the original hand railing design. The unveiling was set for January 8, 2021, but the date has been postponed due to the flaring up of the coronavirus numbers in Germany. But they already did a test placement. But let's get back to what Priscilla said about the Elvis biopic, because in England she gave some more information.
Now, the Baz Luhrmann film that's coming up, Baz Luhrmann, he did Moulin Rouge. He's now doing the Elvis Presley biopic. Are you involved in any way?
I'm involved as much as Baz will let me be involved, because he's learning as he's going along.
So is he taking a lot of info and emotional substance from you?
Yes, I had Jerry come to my house and visit with Baz. We had lunch, and Baz told us both, what he had in mind. Now, mind you, this is Baz Luhrmann. It's going to be very stylized.
Yes.
I mean, this is not going to be just a regular film.
We have no idea.
Yeah. He's sending me the script when they finish up, all the little details. So he has me in pretty much involved.
And are you going to be featured in the biopic? You must be.
I don't know. I will be in it, of course, but I have no idea yet, because I haven't seen the script yet. He's not quite finished. This is going to be out in 2021. So there's a lot of changes in the script. They're really working diligently to make it right, or to make it as Baz is what he's looking for.
The working title Cat King has been given to the movie. While working titles commonly change before a film's release, Cat King fits with the movie maker's vision to surprise viewers with his interpretation of Elvis's life. The main characters in the movie are that of Elvis, Priscilla and Colonel Tom Parker. Every movie has to have a bad guy. Now listen to Tom Hanks's reaction when he was asked, in his view, a stupid question why he never played the role of a villain in his movies.
I'm about to leave to go to Australia. Good thoughts to Australia for what's going on down there, to work with Baz Luhrmann, and I will be playing, if all goes according to plan, Colonel Tom Parker to Austin Butler's Elvis Presley. And hopefully I will then finally have an answer to all your stupid questions about why will I never play a bad guy. I think I'm about to do that. So that's who I'm playing next. And we have time for one more question.
I have no idea in which Elvis year the movie will end, but since there are no actresses cast for Elvis's post-1973 girlfriends, I think the movie will end around 1973. Perhaps the Aloha show would make a perfect ending. The characters that will appear in the movie are Elvis's parents, Gladys and Vernon Presley, musicians Scotty Moore and Bill Black, Elvis's friends Dixie Locke, Billy Smith, Jetty Schilling and George Klein, record producer Sam Phillips and his secretary Marion Keisker, artist sister Rosetta Tharpe and Hank Snow, Colonel Tom Parker's assistant Mr. Tom Diskin, and the producers of the comeback special Steve Binder and Bones Howe. After the cast and crew got finalized, the principal photography of the film started on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia on the 28th of January 2020. Production got halted on the 12th of March when Tom Hanks tested COVID positive.
Can you believe Tom Hanks and wife Rita Wilson have tested positive for the coronavirus? Melissa, they made this announcement. Does this mean that they're the first big-name celebrities that we know of?
It certainly seems like it, right? Or at least to publicly announce that they are battling the coronavirus. This was Tom Hanks sharing this information, their diagnosis, on his Twitter and Instagram accounts last night. So he found out while in Australia, where he's working on an Elvis biopic. Hanks posted this message on Instagram saying that they felt a bit tired, like we had colds and some body aches. Rita had some chills that came and went. They had slight fevers too. We were tested for the coronavirus and were found to be positive. They will be tested, observed, and isolated for as long as public health and safety requires, and that they are taking things one day at a time.
6 months later, the 17 weeks shooting got resumed on the 23rd of September. Some original American cast was replaced by Australian actors due to the delay in shooting. Initially, Maggie Gyllenhaal and Rufus Sewell were to portray Gladys and Vernon Presley, but were replaced. The release of this $75 million movie was rescheduled and will be released, if everything goes according to plan, on November 5th, 2021. In short, after 207 performances, the Heartbreak Hotel in Concert show closed at Harrah's showroom in Las Vegas on January 7, 2020. Boulevard Souvenirs, the last independently owned Elvis-themed gift shop, has left Elvis Presley Boulevard and opened a new shop just 100 steps away from Sun Studio. At various dates throughout 2020, a reworked version of the That's the Way It Is special edition was shown in 16 countries in Europe, Australia, New Zealand and in the USA. Just like last year, Case Mowen of the Elvis Day by Day website has written and compiled, with additional contributions by Nigel Patterson and Piers Beakley, his 2020 The Year in Review book. It contains the 600 news updates on everything that happened in the Elvis world in 2020 in one complete illustrated full-color reference book. Also added to the content are over 50 in-depth reviews, articles and interviews. The book measures 20 by 25 centimeters and contains over 300 pages with more than 550 illustrations. The book costs €30 and will be available around mid-January 2021, but you can already pre-order the book. To commemorate the 50th anniversary of Elvis's marathon recording session in Nashville, the From Elvis in Nashville 4-CD box set was released by Sony on November 20th. The first 2 CDs feature the studio tracks in pristine audio. Acclaimed sound engineer Matt Ross Spang newly mixed the original 40 studio recordings, removing the added overdubs or orchestration that appeared on earlier releases. The second 2 CDs feature 34 of the best studio outtakes, including some previously unreleased versions. A highlights package became also available as a 2LP 12-inch vinyl pressing. Graceland offered the 2LP edition exclusively pressed on Aqua and Tangerine 12-inch vinyl. On August 10, 2020, collector's label Follow That Dream Records released a special box on the 50th anniversary of the documentary Elvis, That's the Way It Is. The set, with a weight of 7 kilos, was accompanied by no less than 8 CDs of rehearsal recordings from the July and August 1970 marathon recording session. The recordings, with over 450 minutes of music, included some previously unreleased and even unbootlegged material. Besides the CDs, 2 300-page books with the titles The Rehearsals and The Concerts were part of the set, which retailed for about $250. It was the release for the die-hard Elvis fan in 2020. In 2020, Sony Records has started making animated videos in an effort to generate more Elvis interest amongst a younger audience. Just before Halloween they released a video of Devil in Disguise, and just before Christmas they released Blue Christmas. It makes me curious how they are going to animate the Agent King series on Netflix in 2021. According to the Forbes magazine, Elvis earned $23 million in 2020. Graceland typically accounts for more than $10 million of earnings, but Graceland was closed for 2 months in 2020 and has been operating since May at reduced capacity. On the other hand, Netflix has shelled big bucks out for the animated series Agent King, featuring the cartoon image of Elvis Presley. Graceland was completely shut down for 2 months from March 21st to May 20th.
The King's home is ready to welcome visitors again.
Elvis Presley's Graceland has reopened for business after being closed for about 2 months now.
Music is playing through Graceland once again. People are walking through, taking in the rich history that is Elvis Presley. In the era of COVID-19, you'll have to get your temperature checked before you're allowed inside.
All right, you're good to go.
It's one of several changes made to make sure you and employees are safe, and the amount of people allowed inside has been reduced.
We usually would get 2,000 to 3,000 people a day. Now we're only doing 25% of that. Basically, touring the mansion is going to be like your own private tour of Graceland.
Only 10 people will be allowed inside the mansion. But despite the changes, guests are still looking forward to seeing a piece of history.
Elvis Week 2020 was mainly a virtual event, and the number of people who were allowed to attend the candlelight vigil was limited to 720. The vigil itself was also limited to 3 hours. Here is the top 6 of the highest paid Elvis items at auctions in 2020. At number 6, gold watch with 26 diamonds gifted by Elvis to J.D. Sumner in 1974. It was sold for $195,500, including the buyer's premium. At number 5 is a 1969 Mercedes-Benz 600, $288,888. At number 4 is a 77 inches ivory-colored macrame belt with accented reflective stones. This belt was estimated to sell between $10,000 to $20,000, but it was sold for $298,000, including the buyer's premium. At number 3 is the first TCB ring that Elvis had made. He gifted the ring to J.D. Sumner on stage in 1975, $352,500. And at number 2 is the hot rod that Elvis used in the movie Loving You. Though Elvis never owned the car, this really is a classic Elvis piece.
And we're going to close the bid, $475,000, and we're a long way from home.
And at number 1 is Elvis's historic Martin D18 guitar, which he used between January and June of 1955. There was only one bidder who was prepared to pay the minimum bid of $1.2 million. With commission, the bidder had to pay $1.32 million. Hello everybody, just a short message of Emil Meyer. 2020 was a lost year. Now with the vaccine available, we can all go back to the old normal, hopefully within a couple of months. We are all longing to be within reaching contact of our loved ones, as we have missed the skin contact so much. That was, at least for me, the hardest part of this whole coronavirus thing. Personally, it was a very good year for us, as we have moved house. Now the only thing that we have to do is to convert the garage into an office unit, as I have no space of my own to make the videos. For instance, my computer stands in the bedroom of my 11-year-old daughter, and that is not an ideal situation. This yearly review took a long time to make, so the next video will be uploaded on January 29. This video continues, and perhaps you could consider subscribing. All the best wishes for 2021, and goodbye. Here are the top geographics of my channel of the past year. At this time of the year, we look back at the ones of the inner circle of Elvis Presley or related people who passed away in 2020. For more information on these people, please look back at my previous postings. Childhood friend Guy Harris, 81. Head of security Dick Grob, 80. Singer Little Richard, 87. Wife of Tom Parker, Loanne Parker, 84. Songwriter for Elvis at Sun Records, Stan Kessler, 92. Songwriter for Elvis and artist Mac Davis, 78. Backup singer of the Stamps Quartet, Ed Hill, 85. And Elvis's only grandson, Benjamin Storm Keogh, at the age of 27. His body has been laid to rest on the grounds of Graceland. Thanks for the many views and to the more than 6,600 people who subscribed to my channel. The Elvis Presley News Report will continue in 2021. Goodbye. Have a happy Elvis Presley Day.
You have a happy